Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a set of stretch bracelets. Now for this video I'm going to be using the Stretch Magic in the 1mm size, and I've chosen the black Stretch Magic because of my design here. So as you can see on my bead board, I have laid out all three of my designs, and the reason I'm using the bead board, and this is a really great tip, is if you are using the 1mm Stretch Magic, your knots are going to be a little bit bigger. So what I've done here is I've actually utilized the large black beads here, and these are 10mm, so I have 10 8s and 6s in here, as well as my gemstones. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a nice little pocket for each of those little knots to hide. So you can see that my bracelets here aren't completely even. I'm not starting at one end, I'm not really starting in the middle on all of these. So what I did though is I wanted to make sure that my bracelet here is going to end up with the 3 black beads in the back, so then I can hide my knot at the very ends. So it won't be, you know, kind of a big bulky knot next to, let's say, my 6mm beads. So that's why the bead board is here, and it's why I wanted to map out all of my designs, also to make sure that I was really happy with the distribution of all those skull beads. As you kind of stack them up and wear them around the wrist, they'll sort of move, but I wanted to kind of really create a nice little style there. Okay. So, like I said, I have 10s, 8s, 6s, and my gemstone skull beads there. I have a pair of flesh cutters. You can also use scissors as well. And I'm going to be using a little dab of GS Hypo cement. We also find that E6000 can work as well. So I'm going to start by taking my 1mm Stretch Magic, and I'm going to kind of pre-stretch it. So go ahead and just give it a few good little tugs there. All we're trying to do is just make sure that once you have your bracelet, that it's not going to slack too much more after that. Now I'm just keeping mine on the spool. You can, of course, cut yours off too, but I'm just giving it a nice good stretch there. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to set that to the side, and now all I'm going to do is just start stringing up my beads because I already have my design planned here. So you can actually design your beads as you like. This is how I've decided to do mine. Just kind of, I wanted to go for a graduated size, and I didn't want it to be all super dark, super black, so I wanted to add in a little flash of these Czech fire polish, so I added in some of these nice little bronze beads here. All right. Now my beads are stringing pretty simply here, pretty easily, but if you find that you are not getting onto the beads quickly, let's say if you're using something like a pearl or a gemstone that can sometimes have a rough core to it, what I suggest is you can cut this Stretch Magic at a little bit of an angle, and what that will do is that'll create a little needle-like end for you, so it might just help a little bit kind of getting through some of those beads. All right, so I'm just almost done stringing here. Another thing I love about the bead board is it helps to size it for you. But I will say, because I'm using some larger beads, you can see that I'm about 7 inches on my bead board. It goes from 5 to 0 and then to 2. But when you actually wear these, because they are larger beads, it's going to probably equal a little bit closer to a 6.5 or a 6 3/4. Now stretch, obviously, you know, kind of, it will obviously stretch so you can have it tighter or looser on that 6.5. So it's just kind of up to you, but this is a good way to get that whole set nice and even. All right, so now I have my pre-stretched cord here. So now I need to cut it off of one end. And we don't need much. I'm going to kind of cut a little extra for me just so I can really showcase how to do that knot. Okay, so let's center all of that. Now you can see that when I bring it together there, I'm going to have my knot sit right in the back of those little black beads, just like so. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cords, and I'm going to go with the left over the right, and I'm going to go down through the center with that one cord, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down through the center again, so I kind of have a little coil that's happening there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that cord that's in my right hand here, loop it over, and do one single overhand knot. So now I'm going to bring that all together and pull, 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 pull until it comes together really, really nicely. Now I'm going to let that slack for just a second, come over to my GS Hypo cement. I'm going to add a little tiny dab of glue right onto my knot there, just a little bit. And this is where that pinpoint precision on this GS Hypo cement is really nice to work with. And again, just really making sure my knot is nice and tight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one more quick overhand knot right on top of that glue. And I'm going to hold it here for just a few minutes, and then you can trim off your cords. Now what I like to personally do is I'm going to actually let this sit and dry in case I need to do another knot. So don't trim it just yet. So what I can do is I can set this one aside, let it dry, and move on to my next one. And then I'll come back in a couple of hours and I'll trim that off. But that's how easy this is to do. It's really fun, it's really simple, and I love that Stretch Magic comes in different sizes. And now we have some cords that are black, so you can see that even as you stretch this one, you'll see in the center there that you're not really seeing a lot of that cord because it kind of matches my beads. So really fun project to do, and it's just in time for Halloween. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. You can get all of these supplies and see this full tutorial written up for you by heading over to Beadaholique.com. And if you're new to our YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get all the latest from Beadaholique.